All right, it says we're live. All right, I'm going to give it a moment. I'm going to share this to a couple places. Hey, folks, it's Jerlene, and I'm live. It is Sunday, November 6th. Got another topic to talk about. This is a last minute impromptu conversation, folks. So we give folks a few minutes to join. I'm going to share this to a couple places. Today, we are joined with the general manager of the Long Beach Water Department. Who is he and what does that mean? We're going to find out in just a moment. So just give me just a moment to share this to a couple places. All right, done. All right, ready. Hey, Chris or Mr. Gardner. I don't know you, so I probably should call you by your proper name, Mr. Gardner.
Call
Thank
me
you.
Chris.
Thank you for joining today. Thank you for connecting with me on this very important issue. Hey, for those of us, we got an election coming up, general election taking place November 8th. Some people will be mailing in a ballot. Some people will be going to a poll. There are multiple measures that people have been asking about, and I am in no way an expert at any of them, although I'm knowledgeable on some of them. But one is Measure BB. And a few days ago, I was joined with someone and we talked about Measure LBC. Today, we get to talk about Measure BB from an expert, someone who's going to basically break it down, like what it means. And just know that this conversation is in no way of telling people how to vote. It is an opportunity to learn about the measure. So I just hope people are clear on this. This is not to tell people how to vote yes or to vote no, but it's an opportunity for them to learn about the measure from someone who's directly connected to it. So good afternoon, Mr. Gardner. Chris, can
Good
you
afternoon.
please tell us who you are? And after you tell us who you are, tell us about what you do in this city and why it matters to us. And then we're going to talk about Measure BB.
Okay. So my name is Chris Garner, and I'm the general manager of the Long Beach Water Department. I've been born and raised in Long Beach. My father was born in Long Beach. My mother in Long Beach, New York, and just came out here when she was a young girl. And so I've been with the city for 38 years, and most of that time I've been working with utilities. For the first, I believe, 25 years of my career, I was with the Long Beach Gas Department. Had different names at the time. It was Long Beach Gas Department. It was Long Beach Energy, and now it's Energy Resources. And for a while, it was Long Beach Gas and Oil. So I was the general manager of the gas department for 18 years. And then 8 years ago, I was asked to put my hat in the ring for the position of general manager of the water department. And so I came from the gas utility. I jumped over to the water utility. So I've been on both sides of the fence. And then you asked about what does the water utility do? So we provide all the water service to most of Long Beach, probably about 95% of Long Beach. We provide the water service to all the residents and businesses in Long Beach. We get about 60% of our water supply locally. We pump it out of the ground, local wells, and then we get the other 40% imported from Northern California and the Colorado River, which has been in the news quite a bit lately. And so, but we have about 250 employees. So they handle both the water utility and the sewer utility in Long Beach, and we provide the services at the water treatment plant at Redondo and Spring that cleans all the groundwater. So all the groundwater that's pumped up by the ground, we clean it, make sure it's safe, then we deliver it to the residents of Long Beach. That's
How
it.
does Oh, go ahead.
That's me in a nutshell.
How okay, so water. I pay a bill. I pay a gas bill or I pay a City of Long Beach utility bill. And on this bill, it has my gas and it has my water and it has my refuse.
And
Those are three different departments, right?
most likely your sewer. So
In my in my
yes,
sewer.
yeah,
Okay.
so you should have a sewer charge, a water charge. So water and sewer are under the water department. Gas utility is under the Department of Energy Resources, and refuse is under Public Works.
Okay. So Measure BB, and actually I'm going to read off of the official ballot. Measure BB is on the second page. It says Long Beach City General Election, Measure BB, Long Beach Water and Gas Consolidation. Shall the city charter be amended to merge the existing water, sewer, and gas utilities into a single publicly owned utility governed by the existing Independent Water Utility Commission? Eliminate duplicative costs by consolidating like operations, improve customer service efficiency, and increase flexibility in sharing of staff, equipment, reduce impacts to streets through the coordinated utility pipeline street repairs, and achieve cost savings through greater economies of scale. So, and we're asked to vote yes or no. What does that mean?
So I'll give you a little bit of history. So years ago, about 100 years ago, gas and water were all in the same department. And then in the 1930s, there was a lot of concern about the water supplies in the Long Beach area. And so Long Beach formed a water department and water commission in 1931, I believe was the water commission was started. And so water and gas were broken off. And so for many years, they've been separated. I believe there's been many, many discussions over the years about combining them into one department once again. And the issue is, I think everybody thought it made sense. It was an issue of, does gas go from under the city manager and then under the water commission, or does water go from under the water commission and go back under the city manager? So there's sort of this power struggle of which side of the fence does each one end up on. And I've been on both sides of the fence. And so I've been on the, when I was in charge of the gas utility, I report directly to the city manager. I did not have a commission. When I'm on the water side, I report directly to the Board of Water Commissioners. I do not report to the city manager. And this is not a knock on any city manager, but there's much more utility focus, obviously, with the Water Commission. So the Water Commission is solely focused on the water and sewer operations. The city manager is focused on, and rightfully so, police, fire, parks, libraries, all that. They are not focused on the natural gas utility. We give, one of the things I hear about is transparency. So for the water utility, we do I think we have 4 or 5 public meetings each year to talk about our budget in depth. We walk it through all the expenses, all the planning, the expected revenues. Then we talk about rates, and we have discussions with, it's open to the public. And then we have a public hearing, Prop 218 hearing, to talk about any rate increases. On the gas side, that's not the case. So the gas does their budget, they do their rates. It's sort of in a vacuum. It's away from the rest of the bill. You talked about the bill has refuse and water and sewer and so on. Gas does it on an island, does that, and then it's folded into the city manager's budget when he takes it to the city council. So there's really no public discussion about the rates or the budget itself. It's all focused on police, fire, and parks and rec. So the idea is we would move the gas utility under the commission. And so now the commission would be in charge of gas, water, and sewer. And so we'd be able to take advantage of quite a bit of the back office support services, all the engineering aspects of it. You hear about a lot of cities that have multiple utilities. They're all under one roof. We're the only city in California that I'm aware of that has multiple utilities that separate out their governance and their management completely separate and in a vacuum from each other. So we would put it all under one roof. It's very similar to what happened back in the 1980s. In the 1980s, the sewer utility was under the city manager and under public works. There was a ballot measure back in the 1980s, and the voters approved moving sewer under the water commission. And so now we have the 2 utilities under the water commission. It's pretty much seamless and invisible to the public, which it should be, but we're able to share all the resources, all the fleet, our IT services, accounting, admin, payroll, personnel, accounting, budgeting, rate setting, all that is shared between the 2 utilities. We have the same titles, working titles amongst the employees, so I can move obviously if they're qualified. I can move sewer utility workers underwater. I can move water utility workers under sewer wherever the need is most needed. I can't do that with the gas utility right now. And so the idea is we would move it over here. We would work. We would respect the differences between the different utilities, just like we respect the differences between water and sewer. We'd respect the differences, but we would take advantage of any similarities and remove duplications. That's it in a nutshell. I can't hear you.
I said that's a lot.
Yes.
That is a lot of information, and I kind of see why that's not talked about because it's not easy to comprehend. Um, because it makes us have to think beyond, like I said, my little paper bill that I get every month, right? So this consolidation will basically merge the two departments. And currently, our water is under a commission. What commission is that?
It's the Board of Water Commissioners. So
The
we have
board.
5 residents on the board. They're appointed by the mayor, approved by the city council.
Okay. So in the is it right in the, according to the ballot statement, it says water/utility commission. Is that what it's named right now, or will this measure be calling for a change in the charter to a commission? And is the water commission a chartered commission?
Yes, so the Water Commission is a charter commission, and so what we will do is just rename it. So right now it's the Water Commission. We will just change the name to the Utilities Commission.
Okay, to the Utilities Commission. And so again, so what I heard, you're consolidating staff, and according to the statement that was written up by, or that is presented by the city attorney, is this will help fiscal. This is a good fiscal decision for the city.
Yes. So, as a manager, what I'm always trying to look at is trying to improve efficiencies, improve customer service delivery, reduce costs, and this is a way that we're trying to do that. Very similar to what we did with water and sewer.
Okay. So, all right. Was hoping some people were going to actually pop some questions in here, but I've received some via direct message. I'm going to pull up one of these questions. How will this, and this is a question that was received by a Facebook viewer, Jamie. How will this affect the number of jobs between the two agencies? How many jobs will be gained or lost, or will jobs be gained or lost in this merger?
So one of the first questions I received when we brought up this idea was from the city council. They were concerned about jobs, and so we have met with each of the impacted labor groups and assured them that there would be initially no layoffs, so no one would have to fear losing their job on this. What we would do is just like we do today, through attrition. When someone gets promoted, leaves for another job, retires, there's a vacancy, we look at that position, and just like today, we either fill it with the same job classification, we repurpose it, or we eliminate it, and we would do that over time. So any job reductions would occur over time, and no one would lose their job that has a job today.
Okay. A second part of that question is, will this measure provide rate savings for the residents?
What I don't want to do is guarantee rate savings, because the expectation is, regardless if this happens, our costs, especially on the water side, are increasing every year. And so that will obviously have pressure to raise rates. And that's not just for Long Beach, that's for every water utility in California. But what it does is we have cost-based rates. So any cost savings that I can achieve means I do not have to pass that cost through to the customers. So if I can reduce costs, those cost savings are realized by the customers.
How can we guarantee that?
Well, one way is to get involved. We have like I said, we have 4 or 5 public meetings to talk about our budget. We talk about it in a lot of detail, and we explain exactly what our costs are, any changes in our costs, and then how the rates would be proposed going forward. The public can certainly come and listen to that and participate in that discussion with our Board of Water Commissioners.
On commissioners, Does it change, or will it change the number of commissioners and or how they are appointed?
No, they'll be the same 5 commissioners, and they'll still be appointed by the uh, mayor and approved by the city council.
Okay. Um, oh, and I had, let's see, let me go to my next question. I hear an ice cream truck coming down my street right now. Um, okay, so so you mentioned staffing when you were speaking, and you had talked about how you would be able to use the crossing of staff. Does that mean that there'll be additional training for like the gas staff to understand water and so forth?
Yeah. So the way I've explained to my staff is if you're a water person today and you want to stay a water person, that's fine. If you're a gas person and want to stay a gas person, that's fine. But if you're a gas person and want to get certified, and you have to get certified by the state, there's 5 different levels. If you take those tests and get certified, you become much more valuable to me because now I can use you either on the gas side or the water side as I need it. And so most likely you'll get paid for that increased skill set. So a lot of it depends on the employees. If they're motivated and they want to learn the other side of the business, we will compensate them for that. And um, one of the benefits we have is both water, sewer, and gas are all underground pipeline utilities. We're not electric, so we don't use wires. Everything's underground pipeline. And so there's a lot of similarities as far as the engineering aspect of it. There's differences, and we have to respect that. But there's a lot of similarities, and we want to take advantage of that. So there'll be lots of opportunities for employees for job growth and promotional opportunities as we go forward.
Okay. So I have I think a series of questions that are all kind of wrapped into one question. If folks that are watching having a conversation with the general manager of our the Long Beach Water Department, talking about Measure BB in consolidating water and gas utilities. It is on the second page. If you have your mail-in ballot, it's the second page, top corner. That's what we're talking about. Also, if you want more information, you can go to your sample ballot and you can check that out. And there's also a web page. I'm going to drop this into, I'm going to drop a link. Let me drop that real quick. You can go to the city's website and you can learn more about this ballot measure. So, final question. Let's see. Anyone else put any questions in here? There was recently a lawsuit against the city of Long Beach in the way in which it was spending the money that was, I believe, coming in for water. How does this measure ensure that the type of issues that came about with our water department or the spending of the water funds does not happen again? Are there any safeguards in place in this consolidation? Because the conversation is that this merging will actually prevent there from being a level of transparency that we currently have with the separation of the two.
I'm glad you asked that because it actually increased transparency. So the lawsuit was against the city of Long Beach, not the water utility, but against the city of Long Beach for taking the transfers from the water fund and the sewer fund to the city. One of the beauties of our process is we were very transparent about that. It was very clear that we were making these transfers. And so then there was a court case and the city lost. And so the city had to return about $31 million to the water fund and the sewer fund. The Board of Water Commissioners voted to return all that 31 million back to the customers. So everybody should have received by now quite a significant amount of credit on your water bill. A lot of people didn't notice it, but it's there. And if you don't see it, certainly give me a call and I'll find it for you.
I'm going to look when I get off the phone with you.
Look around early summer, July. You should have seen a large credit on your water bill. And then, so the question is, how does this prevent that? So the court case really clarified things, not only for Long Beach, for other cities in California, that those transfers were not legal and that we could not do that. So we have completely separate legally, we have to have completely separate water fund, sewer fund, gas fund. So we have to keep those revenues completely separate. And so the rates on the water side are cost-based, and so we need to track our water costs and make sure that's all that is in the water rates. And so your water rates today do not have any measure revenue collection in it. That has been completely removed, and that's no longer the case. Same thing with the sewer side. Those are no longer in the rates.
Okay, so you just said that. So this department is consolidated, right? So say
Yep.
this passes, departments are consolidated. The funds that come in for water, gas, refuse will continue to be separate.
Yes, and sewer.
And sewer. So
Yes,
when it comes time, when you were talking about the budget presentations and everything, we will be able to see this separation.
correct.
So it's not going to affect the way in which money's collected from us. It will just affect or improve upon our service delivery, the access or the access with internally to staffing and such. Did I synthesize that good enough?
No, that's true. And I want to really point out the transparency aspect of it. So as I said earlier, the gas budget and rates are in the transfer from the gas fund are all buried within the overall city budget. When it goes to the council in September, and again, I don't think there's been discussion for many, many years about the gas budget or the gas rates or the gas transfer because it's buried in with police, fire, parks, libraries. Water has been completely separate budget hearings, public hearings, and so that's why it was so visible on the water side. So now, if gas comes over to the water side, we will have public meetings that will talk in detail with the gas budget, the water budget, and the sewer budget, and the different rates. And people and I understand people are very suspicious. It's unfortunate of the timing of. It looks like this is tied to Measure. This merger is not tied to Measure M. It's not driven by City Hall. This measure was completely brought forward by the utilities. We looked at our operations, and because I've been on both sides of the fence, we have a very close relationship right now with gas, and it's closest it's been in probably 75 years. And so we're trying to look at ways we can really build upon that relationship. There's so much that we do that is just duplicative. I gave a list to the council of probably about 35 different operations that we do. They do it on their side of the fence, we do it on our sides of the fence. We've had several meetings with employees of both groups, and the good news is they were very excited about it in the sense of they saw things that were done differently on the other side of the fence, and they could take advantage of that. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully this happens on Tuesday, and we can start working much more closely together.
Okay. Well, the word is that those departments have already started consolidating internally, but we're not going to talk about that. And you don't even have to respond to that.
We have consolidated for years. We've consolidated the billing, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they do the turn-ons and turn-offs of water meters for us. We do some, but they do some of it for that. And the meter reading is used to be a private company. We all did that together, and we have the same call center. So we have one call center, one major call center, but we have little islands of those also. But we've combined that all together.
Well, I can say as a consumer, as a client and a customer, the service that I've received when I call whatever number that's been on the back side of my bill has been pretty amazing. And people have been pretty friendly, and they've been able to assist me. I've not had, and of late, I've had to call for multiple things related to my property. And so I just want to say that call center and those workers are pretty awesome.
Yes,
so I just want to share that. So for folks that are watching, about been joined with Chris Gardner, General Manager of the Long Beach Water Department. We were talking about Measure BB that's on our ballot. Measure BB, if you have your mail-in ballot, it's in the corner. But the conversation is about consolidating water and gas. This conversation is not about voting yes or voting no. It's about being informed on how to make a decision that you believe is the best decision for our city. Chris, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for reaching out and connecting. And just giving people an opportunity to hear from someone who's worked in both departments and has an expert look at what this measure means for us. And also thank you for, you know, I shared with you, you know, my skepticism and seeing different things being pushed. And I'm like, oh, this is just something coming out of City Hall, and letting us know that this is utility driven and driven based upon the operations of the department. So again, thank you so much. Folks, please, if you're watching this, if you watch this now, watch it later, please share your thoughts. Don't forget, you can find out this information, get more information by looking at your sample ballot or going to the city's website. Going to the city's website. Hold on. I think my phone started ringing. Going to the city's website to get more information about this. Chris, I'm going to log us off. Please hold on for just a moment while I do that. So again, thank you for your time. People, Jerlene, Talk of the Town, engage, inform, inspire, and hopefully I'm assisting in some way in ensuring that people get out and vote.
Thank you.
Don't go yet.